Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Are you like me and have you ever wondered what it would be like if you put a sharp edge on one of the Rogan Tools? Well, they've only gone and done it. So with Rogan Knives now, you can find out exactly what it will be like. So let's take a closer look. This is one of the new chisel grind knives from Rogan Knives. Now, Rogan Knives and Rogan Tools are one and kind of part of the same company. It made perfect sense that they were that Mike from Rogan Tools would kind of venture into this side of it. The tools that they make, this is my Rogan Tools Foreman. This is what I use quite a lot when it comes to just kind of all that donkey work when you're trying to make a fire, when you're trying to do lots of different things, that it's just easier to do with something like this rather than a knife, or at least not necessarily easier to do. However, what it does do is it means that you don't have to use your knife for certain things. You know, we use knives in quite a destructive manner, mainly because knives, I mean, they're designed for cutting, but things like battening and a lot of other things, it's not good for them. And that's what these tools are. These tools are perfectly designed for. And in fact, I have made a piece of content on this. I'll leave a link wherever it is. But for now, so this is one of the knives. Now there are a few different versions of these. I think this is the mid version, but there are a few different sizes. For this one, it comes in at roughly 8 inches. The cutting edge on this is roughly 4 inches. I'll put the exact measurements down here below. You have this really nice saber grind on this, but I mean, from this point of view, it looks like a saber grind until I flip it over, and hopefully you'll notice there that there is no grind on the back. So similar to my Foreman here, the Foreman just has this chisel grind here on the side, and then there's also one on the end. Great for battening, great for digging, whatever it is that you need to do. Similarly with this, you have this really nice chisel grind across the front. Now this is made from 1095, which is a high carbon tool steel. So you do have to put in a wee bit of maintenance to this. I've owned my Foreman now. Wow, when did I make the content on this? I've probably owned this for about 3 years now. And up until about 18 months ago, it looked new, mainly because I'd just been putting some I put coconut oil on mine. I just find it's a nice kind of finish to it. But I went out and I got home and I was like, damn, where? And I realised that I'd left it out. And it was a good couple of days before I managed to get back out to be able to find it. So you will find that you will get some patina on this, depending on, you know, how well you look after it. If you leave it out in the rain, it will rust. But hopefully you can see from this one, just a bit of elbow grease, a bit of wire wool, and I managed to get it back, but it's certainly not degraded the steel at all or anything on here. To help with the grip on the handle, there is a paracord wrap on here, and then also hopefully you'll see on the end here there is a loop. So if you're wanting to do some I suppose chopping with this. Chopping you'll tend to find, as I'm sure many of you will know, you tend to find a little bit closer to the end because you can really get a good whack on it. So you do have quite a pronounced palm swell on this, especially as you come round to the tip here. You can get a good grip on this, but it's always useful to have a lanyard on the end just to make sure that it's not going to fly off and hit you in the face, or hit you wherever it could possibly hit you. But again, to help to save some weight as well, there are some holes that have been drilled into this. You might be able to see them. I'm not sure if you can see through the lanyard wrap, but they are in there just to help to reduce some weight down. So as far as sharpness is concerned, I will definitely say, although I've just had difficulty getting what's up there, it will definitely say it will cut the hair on your wrist. So if you need to use this for any camp cutting, then you can do. You can look after meat with this. If you want to chop your food with this, you can do. Obviously, you just need to make sure that you give it a good clean if you've been doing something that's reasonably dirty with it. But it's certainly fine. You can do any of those sort of duties with this. The sharpness of it I mean, yeah, okay. It's pretty much a chisel. It's a chisel that's shaped like a knife. So as you would do with any sort of knife, you just need to make sure that you're extra specially careful. Now, I will say with the original kind of Rogan tools, and there's plenty of different types. I'll leave some links below so that you can see more from them. These do not have a sharp edge on them at all. When you batten with this, it's the force of this metal that splits the wood open, similar to a mauling axe. Whereas with this one, so you do have, in fact, let's take a step back. My Rogan Tools Foreman is roughly 1/4 of an inch thick, whereas the Rogan Knives, which this is the Recon version, this is roughly 1/8 of an inch thick. So it's thinner to make sure that the edge on here is nice and sharp. So when you're battening with this, you'll be able to cut through the wood first before you then have this almost kind of high saber grind on here that will then help to force that open. Similar to a Scandi grind as well, but it's just a single-edged chisel. Single-edged chisel Scandi grind, can I call it that? Have I just invented a new subcategory? But it does cut through wood exceptionally well. In fact, you know, I've got some wood. The wood that I've got, it's actually dried wood, so it'll give you a good idea of how well it does cut through it when I make a little bit of a fire in a minute. Couple of extra bits to kind of point out with this. So it does come with a Kydex sheath. Mike at Rogan Tools makes all of these. You can also get Kydex sheaths for these as well, which are very cool. I think they have one called a Scout. The Scouts have almost a very similar shape to this. Looks really cool, especially with a Kydex sheath on here, and because it's not, it doesn't have a sharp edge. It's you know, it's a little bit easier and safer to carry around. But this pushes in with a really nice kind of click when it's in there. And then you've also got some clips as well that you can add to these. Perfect for a neck knife with all of the lanyard holes that are on here. You can pass whatever you want through this, or if you want to and you want to put some straps through here as well, then you could also run that through your belt as well. Some of the extra little bits that come with it. There's one thing in here, and I will say it genuinely made me chuckle when I was going through these. So you get a little patch, some stickers, some more stickers, and you get your authenticity. This was made by Mike, who's the owner of the company. Some more patches. This is the one that got me. So you get a plaster. Here in the UK we call them plasters. I guess in the US you call it a band-aid. Oh, that was a terrible accent. Sorry about that. But yeah, there's a beautiful kind of dark sense of humour to send out a knife and also provide a band-aid with it, which, yeah, that genuinely tickled me, and yeah, I thought that was quite funny. Now I've kind of mentioned the sharpness of this, and you know, just cutting some hairs on my wrist, but just some hard cardboard here. It does slice through this with ease, and as I mentioned, I've got some wood, so let's actually put this to the test and make a fire with this. Well, as I expected, it made processing that wood incredibly easy. The chisel grind on this, splitting the wood, is great. Because it's got that knife edge to it, that initial hit really does force it straight into the wood, as you'd expect with a bushcraft knife. Just need to make sure as well, because it's a chisel grind, it's not going to cut directly down, so you just have to hold it just slightly off to an angle. You'll notice this as soon as you make your first cut if you're not used to chisel grind knives, but you'll see exactly what I mean, because it's not wanting to go down, it will want to push into where the grind is. It takes a few hits just for you to get used to that. Absolutely no issues with it whatsoever. A couple of pieces of the wood then, they've got some quite large knots in them. It managed to get through those knots a little bit easier than I would say one of the normal Rogan Tools does. I think that's mainly because there is a knife edge on this, there is a cutting edge which will help it to slice into that wood before then the chisel section of the knife then splits the wood apart. Great grip, easy to grip. I think with the addition of the I forgot what it's called again for a second, it's called a paracord wrap, isn't it? With the paracord wrap on there, it does stop quite a bit of that vibration coming through to your hand. Incredibly impressed. I've, as mentioned, made a previous piece of content on these tools. The Foreman tool does an exceptionally good job of being able to process wood like this. But with the knife edge on here, although I will admit my feathering skills are atrocious. I had to go then, and I'm just not very good at making feather sticks. But you can make feather sticks with this because it does have a sharp cutting edge over one of the other tools. So these are a little bit more versatile than maybe some of the other Rogan tools. The actual Rogan tools themselves though are just brutes, sheer brutes. You can do pretty much whatever you want to them, they're pretty much indestructible. Now I will leave some links to Rogan Knives website, because as far as the indestructibility side is concerned, you'll be able to see that Mike does put these through the paces. He's been smashing up bricks with them, smashing up bits of concrete with them, smashing up stones with them. He does a lot to these to show you how much grief and abuse you can put these through, so I'll leave some links below. Also, if you want to pick one of these up from Rogan Knives, you can do. If you're here in the UK and you're thinking, well, am I going to struggle getting that through customs, Wilderness 121, the amazing team over at Wilderness 121 also have a stock of these, so you don't have to worry about trying to get them through customs. You can buy them natively here in the UK, which is great. And I will also say, from an amazing team with a great website that have a lot of other things, so definitely check out. I'm not getting paid to say this, but Wilderness 121 have a good an amazing website that you can all of the things that you would possibly need to get out and just get out into the wilds like this, although I am kind of in my back garden at the moment. So yeah, a huge thank you to Mike for sending this to me. I look forward to future pieces of content that we will make together. He's supported my channel now for a good 2-3 years. He's a sound guy making some absolutely amazing equipment, so definitely make sure you check him out. Yes, so I'll leave those links below. I'll leave some of my social media links below here on Moorlander EDC, and also my sister channel Moorlander Tactical. But for now, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC.
Let's take a closer look.
Are you like me? Have you ever wondered if you could shave your pubes with a knife? So this is one of the new chisel. Where was I? This is one of the...
Let us take.
That went up faster than I was expecting it to. I tried some of these Green Fire Eco Starters. They take a while to get going, but once you get them going, they seem reasonably good. I'll leave a link of these down below. I don't know what their eco or green credentials are. It probably just means that they don't use certain oils. Keep out of reach of children. That's it, really. So yeah, I'll leave a link for those two below. It's been a while since I've used my fire pit. I haven't used it as much this summer. Right, have a good one.